So the gate is in a separate room, so you have to get through like another set of security. And I think that's just because it's like you're crossing the border into Australia. So there's, these like officers, Aussie officers who were checking your passports. They check with like a light. So they were looking, at my profile picture, like my passport, like with a light, making sure it's legit. And the thing is, so while I was in line going up to I guess the gate where they check the passport. So once you're through the gate, then you go to like your actual gate, and then you check in onto the plane. But while I was waiting for that initial part, there's these people on the other side of the officers who I feel like they were looking at me. Like I couldn't tell if they were looking at me or someone behind me, but they might have been looking at me like the whole time, like while I was coming through. And then I got my passport flashlighted and looked at and went through, and then this lady, and they're all like wearing like nice clothes, like nice suits, not like the black suits that are kind of like very intimidating, where it feels like it's the FBI or something. They were just wearing, I think it was like gray suits, like suits but different colors. The woman who seemed like she was in charge, she was like, "Hey, can I see your passport real quick?" And I'm like, "Of course, like you can have a look." And so she like took my passport and then showed it to the men, and was like, and she had a flashlight too, and she's like, "Look, this is like what you're looking for. Look at how it says CAD, for Canada, and there's all these, I don't know, other little tiny details that she was talking about." And that's what like I'm overhearing off to the side. And the men were like, "Ooh, I see. Interesting." Stuff like that. And what I like, I don't know about other passports, but what I like about the Canadian passport is that it's very like colorful, especially when you shine a light on it. It has all these like pretty colors and stuff. So all I see is like my passport like having like all these pretty colors flashing around. But yeah, then she like, that was kind of weird, but she gave it back. She looked really grateful when she was giving it back. She's like, "Thank you so much." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course." Like happy to help. And then I went over to my gate and got checked in, and then went on my plane. And then what was really nice is that my row was completely open. So, and it's a big plane too, so maybe that's why. But I like finally got to, like, that's the closest thing I got to rest. It's not like that really good rest, since like on a plane resting is not the best. Like it's noisy, there's people, it's kind of cramped, except I got to like lie down after takeoff. Luckily I had like a towel and a t-shirt with me, so I used that as a pillow. It was a red eye, so this is past like 11:30 a.m. No, p.m. 11:30 p.m. There was no blankets or pillows, so that kind of sucked, and it was really hard to sleep actually for this red eye, because there was no blanket, at least, because it was really cold, and you guys know I don't like the cold, so I was struggling. So I guess I'll keep this as lighting. The sun's starting to like get into my eyes though, and I don't want to get like too close to this tree just in case something comes up. But yeah, maybe I can like hide behind this. No, that's not a big enough tree, and there's no other like stumps around really. When I was crossing, like when I was getting checked by the Aussie guards, I thought that's when maybe my like visa thing would, be applicable, and like, it was like worth the stress. But they didn't ask for it, and they didn't ask for anyone's like visa really, which was a little bit disappointing. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, so I tried my best to sleep. Oh my god, it was past. So after taking off, it probably was maybe 1 a.m. or something. I'm like trying to sleep, but I like woke up because they were having food or like they were serving food, but the thing is you had to pay for the food. You had to pay for the food, and I don't know, I'm cheap. I wasn't gonna buy the food, especially because it was just like cup noodles and stuff like that, but it smelled so good, and I was for some reason really hungry. I guess it's because maybe I only had 2 meals during the day, but I was like pretty hungry. I was so tempted to buy it, but I didn't, and I tried to like do my best to keep sleeping. And also you had to buy water, like you didn't get free water. That was stupid. That's not a thing, apparently. And so, you know, I had an empty water bottle because of going through security and then rushing over to my gate, so I didn't have time to like refill it. And I went the full like 9 hours without any water, which was really tough. Also without any food too, because they did serve food again, I think around like 5 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning. But I wasn't gonna buy it either, and I definitely wasn't gonna buy water. And you know, finally we arrived like behind schedule. I had to go find the oversized baggage claim area for my squash rackets, and my squash rackets, one of them was broken. I'm still angry about it, but obviously I was so triggered at the time. I was also very tired and low on patience, and so I went to the desk. I took a picture of like the damage, and I went to the desk, and no one was coming to the desk. And I asked some of the staff members if anyone was coming, and they're like, no, like they'll probably come like a lot later in the day, since it was morning over in Australia. But I was able to have like a report given or like submitted, and I hope they're able to like compensate for breaking one of my rackets, since I'm literally here for a squash tournament. And when the guy who was like taking my report to, I told him like I'm here for a squash tournament, so like my rackets are a necessity. Like I need my rackets to be able to play. I don't know, he said within the week like I should get an email, and I showed him like the damage too, and he was like, yeah, make sure you take pictures, and I already did. So we'll see what happens with that. I got one racket left, and I really hope it doesn't break. If it breaks, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess I would have to buy another racket. I don't know. Let's just hope it doesn't break. And yeah, we'll worry about it if it happens. Actually, I'll probably just like borrow someone's racket instead and get used to it. And then email my sponsor being like, hey, I mean, I do need to, actually, that just reminded me, I need to email my sponsor asking for another racket since the Airline broke mine. Yeah, so then I leave, and I'm trying to figure out how to, because I saw on Google that like I could take a bus or a train to Bega. And you know, I was thinking to myself, I was like, oh, like it'll probably just be at the airport. If not, like the airport will take me to like a Grand Central Station sort of thing, and then I could just take like a bus there. And you know, like I didn't want to book ahead too much. I think the drive is about 5 hours from Sydney to Bega, so it's like not that bad. I talked to this woman who was she's just one of the staff people for the train transportation. So at first I was around like the bus area, but I couldn't find the bus information desk to buy tickets. So I just went over and looked for the train one, and so I talked to this lady, and she was like, oh, you'll have to go to they're doing their thing again. They sound like monkeys. Well, maybe I just don't know what monkeys sound like, but anyways, I went to the train, and she told me I had to go to the Central Station. So I booked my ticket. I bought my ticket, took the train to Central Station, which was not too far away. And then once I was there, she told me to go find the